Today, we're going to look at the changes to the 2024 ID.4 and answer the question, is it worth the wait? Or should you take advantage of some potential savings from inventory models? Next on Every Mile. Hey, before we go any further, it'd be a big help if you would subscribe to the channel and press that bell notification and the like button. Thanks so much. You join me from our 2023 Volkswagen ID.4. At first glance, you might think this 2024 ID.4 is the same as we've grown to know. But actually, this refresh brings some important improvement. First and foremost, in the interior, you get a wider screen. The screen goes from 12 to 12.9 inches on the large battery models, while the smaller battery models retain a 12-inch display. So bigger displays are always nice. The S models get ventilated front seats. These seats are extraordinarily comfortable to start with, so additional ventilation is always welcome. While the S Plus models receive Harman Kardon audio system with 9 speakers plus a subwoofer, according to Volkswagen. One of the biggest complaints that you hear if you have looked into Volkswagen ID.4s at all is their software. While I would say that's not unfounded, I would also say the software has been improved since the ID.4's debut. And now, finally, at long last, there are customers receiving over-the-air updates years and years after they were promised. That said, this is a 2023 that I'm sitting in, Volkswagen ID.4, that we've had for a year, and we haven't received not even one single update. But the system is better than folks give it credit for, I think, at least at this point. We're in version 3.1, I believe, of the software, and it does okay. You know, it's not wonderful, but it's not bad either. So this latest version, the 2024 ID.4, is getting version 4.0. And that is an exciting development for a number of reasons. First, it's faster. You can just tell there's videos out there. It's available already in Europe in the ID.7 for sure. I don't quite know if it's in the ID.4 or not. But it's substantially faster, and it has a redesigned sort of layout on the screen, which is great. But the most important thing to me, and probably the biggest update, the most important change in the 2024 model, is version 4 software allows en-route battery preconditioning. Now, what does that mean? Well, in this 2023 model, if I'm on a road trip, and I live in Southwest Ohio, so we have winter here. If I'm on a winter road trip, or when it's colder weather outside, and I'm going to a fast DC fast charger, my charge speeds will be slow until the car warms up. In other words, it doesn't warm up the battery in preparation for a charge to allow it to charge faster. If you're just driving around town and charging on level 2 in your garage, it won't make any difference. But we do road trips, and that's a substantial disadvantage, really one of the few disadvantages to this car, because it's otherwise a great road tripper. It also, from what I understand, allows manual preconditioning. So if there was a reason you wanted to warm up the battery, or if the particular charging station wasn't on the navigation, then you could just turn it on, which I think is always great. Yes, please give us that capability. And again, the current 2023 model does not offer this capability at all. But the next big thing that everyone needs to know about this model, and I think is probably the second most important, maybe the first most important, I don't know, it's very important, this change, is new motors. So it has the 2024 ID.4 has both new motors in the front and the rear. So let's look at the horsepower numbers for this ID.4, the 2023 model. So rear-wheel drive, 201 horsepower. That equated to a 0 to 60 time of 7.6 seconds. And the model we have here, which is all-wheel drive, is 295 horsepower and goes 0 to 60 in 5.4 seconds. Again, these are the 2023 numbers. So 2024, the rear-wheel drive, 280 horsepower. That's a substantial increase. All-wheel drive, 330 horsepower. We don't have or at least I wasn't able to find 0 to 60 numbers for the 2024 yet, but no one expects the ID.4 to be a sports car. But the 79 horsepower increase in the rear-wheel drive model means the acceleration will be more than acceptable, and that means you can get that model and get the most range and save some money. Not all cars need neck snapping acceleration, and I'm not suggesting that. But I don't know why an EV would ever be that slow. 7.6 to 60 is slow. That being said, we got the all-wheel drive model. Now, I don't know what that 0 to, but if you add 79 horsepower, that's going to be perfectly acceptable. So I have no idea, but it's got to be probably in the fives. High fives, low sixes. That's going to be totally acceptable, and that's going to allow you to get the most range. Well, there is a smaller range, smaller battery model, but I'm going to be talking about the 77 kilowatt hour usable battery here. So again, let's look at 2023 for reference. So starting with the 2023 numbers, the rear-wheel drive, we've got 275 mile EPA range. The all-wheel drive Pro and Pro S got 255 mile EPA range. This new 2024 model that's going to be produced in Chattanooga, Tennessee here for North America starting in the spring of 2024. The 2024 model, rear-wheel drive, 291 mile EPA range. All-wheel drive Pro, Pro S, 263. So if you're wanting the all-wheel drive, it goes from 255 to 263. Obviously, these aren't revolutionary increases, but I will also say our experience has been that these numbers are pretty accurate. Realistic. So the Tesla EPA numbers are optimistic, to say the least. Whereas I say these numbers, in my experience, at least with the 2023 model, seem to be fairly accurate. The thing we don't know for sure is the price. We don't know the U.S. Price for these vehicles yet. We have heard that in Europe, the price will stay the same. I can't imagine that the prices would go up given the competition with the Tesla Model Y. So there definitely are deals to be had on inventory models, and I know that lease prices have also been pretty compelling on the 2023 models. And I also know that the $7,500 tax credit comes off of the lease. You know, that amount is applied to the lease. It's also worth noting that the 2024 you can get $7,500 tax credit, which both the 2023 and 2024 models will get that whole amount off the price of the car if you buy it as well. So it comes right off. You sign that over if you're eligible, so please do check with your tax professional, but you can sign that credit over to the dealership and receive that amount off the price of the car, which is a great thing. A larger screen, ventilated seats, and slightly longer range are all welcome changes. But to me, the big deal comes with the addition of en-route battery preconditioning. This is a game changer for cold weather road trips, and this was something that was very much lacking in previous models of the ID.4. VW now has plug and charge at Electrify America. It's been years in the making, but we can say as of early 2024, it's actually happens. So that's a good thing. This makes it easier to charge. You don't have to worry about credentials or an app. You just literally plug into Electrify America and walk away, and it bills the account because it knows what car you have. While it hasn't happened yet, certainly not in the 2024 model year, the one thing that needs to happen to make the ID.4 a really great EV is to complete the transition to NACS. We know the North American charging standard, the Tesla supercharger access. We know that it has a CCS plug in 2024, just as it did in 2023. We also know that we're going to get an adapter that we can use Tesla superchargers, and that's great. But it would be even better if and when the ID.4 ships with the NACS connector native, so we won't have to use an adapter. So once those things happen, and plus these changes that occurred in 2024, the ID.4 will go from what's already a really great car to, in my opinion, a really great EV. If you'd like to see our video comparing the ID.4 to the Model Y, click here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.